It was good, dog. So today we're going to be talking in my normal voice, and I'm going to see if people complain that my normal voice is too boring after literally just saying that my characterized voice is too annoying. Apparently my characterized voice of Professor Tiggs sounds exactly like Lily Orchard, and I had no idea who that was at first, but then when I looked at their catalog of videos, I noticed that they were the one that uploaded that Steven Universe's garbage video, and I'm like, whoa. And since I was bored, it led me down a rabbit hole of watching that video in particular, and then the videos responding to Lily's video, criticizing her claims and saying like, why would you say that Steven Universe isn't for kids, and why would you say Rebecca Sugar is a Nazi sympathizer? There was one content creator in particular that responded to Lily's video and other people's videos criticizing Steven Universe as a show. One person he criticized was making claims about gender, and that's kind of all you need to know. The man being criticized goes by the name of ER, and the man criticizing him goes by the name Hiding in Private on the channel where this video was uploaded. So ER was making a lot of quote-unquote transphobic claims about gender, and so Mr. Hiding in Private was responding to it and talking about how you should be able to be whoever you want, and we don't need to keep spreading this conservative toxicity, and so we can further grow and go towards making the world a better place. Now, since I went on such a deep, 8-hour rabbit hole into this, I'm just going to share my thoughts real quick, and then we can move on to everything else I want to say in my video here. Here's my take. If my personality is about 50% masculine and about 50% feminine, does that mean I'm entitled to believe I'm gender fluid? Why should we favor one side of our personality and decide that we're born in the wrong body instead of just sticking to the movement of girls can play with trucks and boys can play with dolls? Why can't we just stick with the norm of girls being tomboys and boys being femboys? Why do we need to take it a step further and say that we can pretend to be something we're not? Just because you grow up a little different doesn't mean you need to change your gender in order to fit in. The world has become more open to boys liking pink and girls liking blue, but it's a different story when we decide to become more open to conducting a surgery that affirms your new identity. Instead of deciding that you're the other gender, why can't you just say you're a girl that likes manly things or a boy that likes girly things? We need to face facts of the matter, and pretending to be something you're not is not facing those facts. Pretty much in it, being trans is pointless. You can have a different personality, you can be different from all the other girls, okay? Why do you have to snip off your penis and fold your vagina in order to live out this new lifestyle? I think it's really just a trend and people looking for attention. And I will stand by that claim because it's true for probably most trans people. That's why so many of them edit their fursona to have a rainbow background and stuff on their profile picture, and then they put the pride flags in their Twitter handle and their bio and stuff and say their pronouns. You could just dismiss this fact and say that it was just their attempt at making sure no one misgenders them, or to prevent them from asking the question, hey, why do you look so manly when you're a girl? What's going on, bruh? It's because they're trans. But what about every other aspect of their presence on social media? They actively try to defend the trans movement. They make art of their fursona or just normal persona. And of course, I do this too. I love making art. I'm an artist. I know art is for liberals, but even though I'm not a liberal, I still enjoy art. And I'm not going to bash people for looking for attention on social media, because that's a normal thing. That's the whole point of social media. You want attention on the interwebs rather than in real life. But what I'm going after are the people that make their whole personality to be LGBT. And so that's my way of affirming my theory in most trans people just want attention, and that's why they're doing it.
If you have a penis, you're a male. Biology doesn't care about your feelings. Cry harder. Tough gang, rise up.
Now let's look at some woke TikToks real quick.
Trans men don't need to be like cis men at all in order to be men. Trans men don't need to know that they're a man from a really young age. They don't need to play with trucks as a little boy. They don't need to hate the color pink and purple. They don't need to hate dresses. Trans men can love to wear makeup. Trans men can be of any sexuality. Trans men don't even have to feel like men if they don't want to. They can be bigender and feel like both man and woman. They can be non-binary and feel like both either a combination of the two or something completely different. They can use he pronouns, she pronouns, they pronouns, it's, neopronouns. They also don't have to be predators in the way that some people think cis men are. They don't invade queer spaces because they are queer people and they have lived experience as a marginalized gender. They aren't inherently harmful because being associated with masculinity doesn't make anybody harmful. They don't have to go on testosterone or want to go on testosterone. They don't have to want top surgery. They can want to have breasts. They can want to have a vulva. And none of those experiences invalidate the experiences of any man, cis or trans. Because gender is literally anything that you want it to be and can look like whatever you want. And the most beautiful thing about being trans is that every single person does it differently.
So what you're saying is that trans ideology is all made up and none of it matters. This is some very new information. That was sarcasm, by the way. Now, out of all the other woke trans TikToks that I've seen throughout my life, this one I think is very helpful and teaching people that literally none of this matters. This is all just a phase that you're going to go through. And if it is something that you don't grow out of, then again, literally none of it matters because you can be whoever you want to be. You don't need to have the hormone treatment or the surgery or dress differently. You can just say what you are, what you want to be, how you want to be referred. And you don't need to commit to it because you probably shouldn't commit to it as much as other people do. Pretending to be something you're not is very tiring. Like me needing to project my voice on all of my commentary videos, it is very tiring. Imagine if I did that all the time 24/7 in order to have people think a certain way about me in real life. Imagine doing a play for theater all the time and playing that one character you're assigned as. This is probably a horrible comparison when comparing, playing a character to being trans and stuff, but you get what I'm saying. You should accept who you are instead of destroying your character and try to be something you're not. And the fact that our kids are eating this up, and a bunch of my friends have ate this up for many years, I have never seen them at such a lower point in their whole lives ever since they, were introduced to all this. Because they're not being taught to accept themselves and have self-love. You could preach self-love all you want on TikTok, but at the end of the day, you're not learning to love yourself. You're learning to love a different version of yourself that you made up in your head.
I don't think that is as bad as it's going to get in the state of Florida or possibly red states in general for trans people. I think that this is the ultimate goal. Yes, he wants to deter as many gay and trans people from the state of Florida as possible, but those who do not leave at their own free will, well, what's going to happen if you refuse to leave a bathroom? They're already calling the communities trans and gay, they're already calling them groomers. That's the next step. Well, they didn't leave the bathroom because they're obviously going to do something with my child. And if they think that you're a pedophile or a groomer or a sex offender, it's legalized genocide.
Okay, so pretty much Ron DeSantis passed a law in Florida where if a speedophile rapees or essays a 12-year-old or under that age, then they can get the death penalty in Florida. And somehow, these creeps immediately equate that to themselves. A trans person, someone that wants to go to the other bathrooms and, pee next to all the other little girls and stuff. But listening to what they have to say, I can kind of understand where they're coming from now, but still, it's very weird that they're equating speedophiles to themselves in order to be more progressive in this movement. Like, what? So they're afraid that all of these 40-year-old white moms will accuse any trans person in the same bathroom as their child, that they're going to groom them and stuff, or if they're being groomed at the school or something and all that, or if they're touching the child inappropriately one time, then they're going to, try to equate that to essay as much as possible or rapee as much as possible, and then they can get as many trans people as they want killed. And if that is the case, I think that's an extremist thing. I don't think normal trad Christian Republicans or whatever are gonna, want that upon anyone. We don't believe in killing people. If you're going to groom our children, we don't want you dead, we just want you in jail. And so if they try to manipulate this new law into getting people killed, then I think that's going to be a small minority of people. If you rapee essay a 12 or under, then you probably deserve the death penalty, yeah. But with all the stuff that we've seen with the grooming and sometimes touching and the bringing dildos in the classroom, all that stuff, I don't think the government is going to be like, oh yeah, you guys need to be murdered. It's only if you essay or rapee a child. Okay, that's what we're trying to get at here. And if you're trying to twist the narrative into this being trans genocide, then my goodness, let's take a step back, okay? We're not trying to kill anyone here. Only the people that are actually doing really, really bad things, okay? We're trying to target these schmex offenders, okay? We're not trying to specifically target trans people. If you guys want to be a part of that group, then that's your choice. Good luck on death row. But overall, I don't think that's the intention. We're not trying to incite trans genocide in Florida. You probably shouldn't even be living in Florida anyway. Please, go to California, because that's where you people belong, clearly.
Hi. So there have been some interesting bills coming out of Florida this week, such as the multiple proposals that would allow the death penalty for anyone who sexually batters a child under the age of 12, which was approved unanimously, or the vote to allow the death penalty on a split jury. Out of the 27 states that allow the death penalty, Florida is now one of 4 that allows it based on a split jury. Now you might be thinking, people who harm children deserve the worst penalties in the world, and sure, but I want us to think about how we keep having these scares focused around minorities about how we are going to harm the children, we are going to be predators, we are going to be etc. Giving the government the right to murder just means they have to redefine who deserves murder before you are on that list, before we are on that list.
Well, as I said in my Illymation response video, the second one, the definition of murder is the unlawful killing of something. And so basically killing something illegally, and it's unjustified. And it's premeditated usually. Putting a schmex offender that essayed a 12 and under child, I think that would be justified under the law of Florida and all these other states. And so, yeah, they've pretty much tried to redefine murder, because now it is completely necessary to put a schmex offender on death row for the rapee of a 12 and under year old child. And so your fear is that they're going to try to change other laws to where more people can get on death row for smaller things. I think that's a completely justified fear, but again, thinking that this is specifically to attack trans people, I think is a very bold stance to stay on. In a few weeks from now, I'm sure we're going to get documents on documents of trans people getting put on death row because, apparently now they've essayed a 12-year-old and stuff, and because of these new laws, now they're going to die. And then you guys are going to cry about it, like, why are you defending rapists, schmex offenders? Like, what are you doing? And maybe you won't do that. Maybe I'm just speaking out of my booty cheeks right now. But still, if you're concerned that we're gonna, shift other laws into making it legal to kill people for other things, then okay. But I don't think you should try to have this movement occur when we're passing a law that allows pedophiles to be killed for essaying children, okay? If there's another thing that allows people to be killed over something small, then sure, you can protest against that. But this right now, this is not a good look for you.
What do you have to say to the trans students on this campus who feel actively victimized by your presence here?
Life's tough. Get a helmet, man. I'm too pregnant for this. Next question.
Candace Owens is so based, and that's all I gotta say. That concludes it for today's video. If you like me using my normal voice, then please tell me, because I can do another voice. I can do all kinds of voices if you need me to, just so you either don't fall asleep or you don't get bored, whatever the heck. At the moment, my voice is very deep and monotone because I got out of bed like 3 hours ago, and it takes a while for my voice to not be so deep. It's like further into the afternoon, my voice sounds a little bit more normal, but point is, my voice will probably, fluctuate in frequency if I do this tone regularly. I guess that's about it then. Sub to the second channel, follow the Rumble, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, and join the Discord server. Follow other social media. Bye-bye.